We'll get I have to go live off Twitch, so sorry. Make sure everything is on and working. All right, let's take a deep breath collectively. Make sure everybody's hearts, minds is all nice and ready. All right, 12:44. Can y'all start like trying to make y'all way a little bit closer? Maybe a little bit late, so you'll probably see students coming in, but this is grab my mouth. Awesome. So today's session, well, for the past, what, 3, 4 weeks, a month, we've been discussing all things when it comes to writing in the College of Education. So today I have brought in three, what I like to say, experts in this specific field. Okay, so that will be the training. Greetings, my name is Cedricia Stanton. I guess I should say it over here. Greetings, everyone. My name is Cedricia Stanton. I am the Writing Center Coordinator for the Right Place, Alabama A&M University's Writing Center. If y'all are interested in following us on our Instagram, we have a goal of reaching 1,000 followers. So please check us out. We have great events like this, writing workshops, APA, all of those different things. So yeah, come check us out. I'm going to get into a little bit of background for our speakers. First and foremost, we have Michaela Davis. I guess I need to make this small so you can see her face. Michaela Davis is a mental health professional, educational leader, and proud graduate of Alabama A&M University, where she earned her bachelor's degree in English with a minor in psychology. She taught high school English for 4 years, an experience that shaped her belief in writing as a powerful tool for clarity, identity development, and critical thinking. She now serves as an at-risk coach within a public school district as a master's level therapist, supporting vulnerable youth and strengthening trauma-informed school systems. Trauma-informed approach. Her work bridges education, mental health, emphasizing reflective practice, ethical scholarship, and interdisciplinary collaboration. Michaela views writing as both an academic discipline and a restorative practice that sharpens perspective, fosters resilience, and helps individuals and institutions move forward. So that is Ms. Michaela Davis. Next, we have Jade Duke, a proud graduate of Alabama A&M University's English department. Jade Duke is an educator, creative mentor, and communications leader dedicated to equipping the next generation of thinkers and storytellers. With a foundation in English and a strong background in technology and digital media, she seamlessly integrates writing, research, media literacy, and design, preparing students to communicate with clarity, creativity, and conviction. Serving in multiple Christian education sectors, Jade has led initiatives in composition instruction, student publication, digital arts, why is it so hard to say digital arts, and large-scale school communications. From developing engaging curriculum to mentoring young writers and creatives, she is passionate about cultivating both skill and character. Believing that English is more than just a major, it is a platform for influence and impact. Jade remains committed to empowering students to use their voices with excellence, purpose, and leadership. So everybody meeting Miss Jade. Last but not least, we have Samira Carpenter. This is my last, yeah, she'll say that. Samira Carpenter is a proud graduate of Alabama A&M University. So we already have a common theme. We got Alabama A&M University graduates, keep that, where she earned her Bachelor of Arts in Communication Media. Her journey from the hill to Rocky Top reflects her growth as she went on to earn her Master of Science in Communication and Information, concentrating in journalism and media at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. She has previously worked as an assistant director for SCC Network and served as a foundation ambassador for the Atlanta Braves, which is really cool. She is now headed to Chattanooga, Tennessee to join WRCB-TV Local 3 News as a weekend digital news producer, Ms. Samira Carpenter. Okay, so we're having this conversation today. First of all, happy Women's History Month. We have three African American women that are graduates in their field, pursuing higher education, doing stuff in the actual community, right? So, kind of just start us off, ladies, and I'm gonna try to make it big. I'm gonna try to make this as big as possible. There we go. Ladies on the panel, kind of just like give us a little bit of like, welcome, tell us a little bit about yourselves. Yes, I did read y'all's biography, but I want to hear it in y'all's own words. We can start with Michaela.
Okay, perfect. Good evening, everyone. Like I was introduced by the lovely Stacey. I'm Michaela Davis. I went to Alabama A&M, the Alabama A&M, from 2016 to 2020. I was also a member of the Marching Maroon and White Marching Band as a Fabulous Flag. I'm also a member of Sigma Tau Delta, the International Honor Society, English Honor Society, and those are just some of the things that I was able to be a part of while I was on the Hill. My background in English really shaped me in a way that I would not have really could have prepared myself for. As stated, I was a teacher, an English teacher. I taught ninth grade English here in Alabama, Phoenix City, Alabama, if anybody knows where that's at. And I recently transitioned to mental health because mental health has always been something that was pretty important to me. And the same skills and foundation of knowledge that I've attained while at Alabama A&M is the same foundation and skills I use while doing therapy. So that's just a little bit about me.
I can speak. Hey everyone. Oh, did you say something, Cedricia?
Hold on, Jade, but you go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Samira.
Okay. Sorry, I did not hear you. Okay. Hey everyone. I am Samira Carpenter, also a grad of Alabama A&M, as discussed. While I was at A&M, I did join my sorority, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, in spring 22. Oh, sorry, something had popped up on the screen. While I was at A&M, I worked with the football team there. I did a lot of their media stuff, as well as created my own worked alongside a friend in Classy. We created our own sports podcast while we were there, just to give some more media attention to our sports teams that we feel like they could have deserved some more recognition, as that was like their year that they went on to win the SWAC championship, I believe. Mm-hmm. Also did some other projects while being at A&M, then transferred to the University of Tennessee for my master's degree, which definitely came as a culture shock coming from an all-Black institution to then moving to a PWI. But I feel like I gained so much experience there. Worked with ESPN for football. Also did SEC Network, worked with them on different projects. Maybe like we did basketball, soccer, baseball, working in their media department as well as an assistant director, but also camera operator. And then now I am currently residing in Atlanta, Georgia, where I worked with the Braves for a little while. I also did some background acting. If you all know what A Different World is, they're coming out with a spinoff. And I did some background acting with them over the summer and also plan to meet up with them tomorrow as well to do some more background acting. And also, I work as a substitute teacher in APS. That held me down for quite a while. And now I'm about to transfer to Chattanooga to work in my field, which is great as a weekend/digital news producer. So we're just pushing along and praying and hoping for the best.
Okay, I'm gonna chime in too. That's also awesome for the both of y'all. Have a lot going on. Very impressed. Hey everybody, I'm Jade. Again, graduate of Alabama A&M University. Very proud graduate. I use the opportunity to boast about my school any chance that I can. I am from the Nashville metropolitan area. After leaving Huntsville, I moved right back to where I'm from. Currently, I'm using my degree to translate into tech IT. As you guys know, we are in a growing, very rapid growing AI, tech, digital media type of world. And so I just used that opportunity to go ahead and jump in and launch my career. So right now I am in a master's program at Middle Tennessee State University in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I'm in an information systems, IT project management program, and so I'm really excited to see what doors that opens for me. Previously, I taught computer science for 2 years at Lighthouse Christian School. And so that really just kind of put like a launch pad for me into what I really what desire to do. I left A&M very ambitious. I felt like I could conquer the world. And that's a question, so I'm gonna hold on the rest of that. But I just felt so ignited when I left A&M. And so I've actually done so many things. I've been in hospitality management. Like I said, I've taught. Right now I work for a nonprofit, the African Methodist Episcopal Church. I am over a debutante commission. And I'm also an area director. And so all of those skills translate, and then they also go back to my foundation at A&M. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity. I just wanted to let you guys know that anything is possible. If you are have an English major or minor, don't let people try to put you in a box. You can do anything. You could be a lawyer. Like I said, I'm going into tech. I don't have to have an engineering degree to go into tech. You just have to have the mind and the willing spirit to do so. So I'm excited for today.
And I can definitely sense your enthusiasm today. Can y'all hear me good? Give me a thumbs up, y'all can hear me good. All right, so one of the common things that I'm starting to notice is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but literally all of y'all came to A&M, got your bachelor's degree, and then went on to a PWI, correct? So tell me, let's talk a little bit about that. Talk about that transition. What was that like? How Samara said that was a culture shock. Like, give me some context. What about like doing your actual work, the classes, the interactions? Let's talk.
Can I go first? So, I'm a straight shooter, y'all. So please forgive me for I'm gonna be professional, but I'm gonna be real all at the same time. Um, so when I left A&M, of course, like I said, I graduated in 2020. So unfortunately, dare I say that was the worst time to graduate from anything, whether that's college, high school. With COVID shutting everything down, it was pretty hectic. However, I was able to transfer my credits because I got a bachelor's in English with a minor in psychology. I was able to transfer my credits from my psychology minor to get a full bachelor's degree in psychology from Troy University in 1 year online, completely paid for. So within 2020 to 2021, I had 2 degrees now that I could use, with both fields that I definitely enjoyed. Now, the second bachelor's degree was online. I would go to get my master's in clinical mental health counseling in person at Troy. Now, I was not at the Troy campus in Troy, Alabama. I was at the Troy campus in my local area, which is Phoenix City. Thank you, girl. However, while the demographics is mixed, Phoenix City is also a military population as well because we sit on the border of Alabama and Georgia. It is a mixed population, but people who are seeking higher education for a master's program, it was not so mixed. So I was the only young and Black woman in my class. I always have been the youngest Black girl in all the classes that I took while at Troy. Um, I won't say it was much of a culture shock, but it was indeed a learning moment for everyone involved. A lot of the times, and I'm sure a lot of you have felt the same way, a lot of people will try to treat you a certain way or minimize your capacity because of your age. So I had to show them this ain't that over here, boo. Regardless of what you may perceive of me at my age, or I have a bachelor's from Alabama A&M because I always have on my HBCU material. It's just a little hot outside today. But even with me attending Troy, I always talked about my HBCU and the impact that it had on me. And one specific thing that I could think of was about how I took a class called Counseling Multiple Populations or Diverse Populations. And I just so happened to get the population of African American / Black people. So I had the opportunity to educate my fellow peers about counseling in the Black community and why certain methods do not work as far as trying to administer therapy services. For example, no offense, but me personally, I cannot have a white therapist. That's just not going to work for me because there's certain things that I go through as a Black woman on a day-to-day basis that unfortunately my queen cannot relate to. So I need her to look like me. I need her to understand where I'm coming from. However, that class allowed me to give the people that don't look like me the perspective of a young Black girl or a Black girl or a Black person, period, seeking therapy from someone who does not look like them. And it was, from what they say, let them tell it, it was a very eye-opening experience for them. So it is it's not a culture shock per se, but it is it challenges you. It definitely puts you in a different environment to show people what you're made of.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
I can speak a little bit on my experience. So, if I'm being 100% real as well, it was a little bit of a hard transition for me just because the funding was a little bit, it was a little bit more pricier than it is at A&M. But God kind of really, not kind of, he did pull through for me, and I was able to attend this university my first year. I actually did not have any type of funding like granted to me as far as scholarships or an assistantship. So I was working full time while also going to class full time. And I believe like the culture shock really hit probably like the second day on campus because it was just so many faces passing by rather than when I was attending A&M. Everyone looks a little bit different. Everyone has a different type of attitude or a different type of clothing that they have on their body, and that kind of speaks for like the I wouldn't say the culture shock, but just realizing that my environment has definitely changed. And then I had this one professor. She was very, very challenging. She challenged it was there were three African American students in our classroom. One also attended Alabama A&M. Her name is Madison Sims. And it was another friend that I had, Quez, and we had a class where we had to write articles for her newspaper. And it was kind of like an internship because we were writing for her class, but it was for our grade. And there would be times where she would send papers back, send papers back, send papers back. She sees something is wrong, send papers back. But it always felt kind of a little bit targeted towards the three African American students. But the one thing that we always did was just pursue through it. We took the paper, we would rewrite it over and over again. We did what we had to do and kind of just stood up for ourselves in those moments like that. And then there was something else that you mentioned. I always took time to educate my fellow peers in my classroom about HBCUs every chance we had a project. Like I wrote a 30-page paper about NIL, and I did it, which is the NIL ramifications of law. And I made sure that I included HBCU students and how the NIL isn't the same as it is at these PWIs, just so they can get a perspective on the sports aspect. And then I had another project where I spoke on the funding of, what was this project? I had to make like a video project. And I feel like it was kind of the same thing because I'm sports based. So I tried to make sure all my projects related to sports. So it was another instance where I was talking about HBCU funding compared to PWI funding and how these campuses can look a little bit different. And that speaks to the culture shock as well, because wow, I see all these things over here, but I also have this illustrious Alabama A&M where everything is so historical. So I just made sure I took the time to write about my HBCU and just really put thought into everything I did when it came to speaking on the school that I had came from, because it just meant so much to me. A&M means so much to me. So anytime I just wrote on it and just spoke on it, really.
Okay. For me, so this is like new for me going to my PWI. So I've been in like a hiatus for a while. Like I said, I was an educator for 3 years, so I'm just now getting back into school. So I cannot speak for that, but I can speak for my community. So I'm from the Tennessee area. I'm from the Middle Tennessee area, and so if you guys have ever been to Nashville, Broadway, you guys can already kind of see the demographic of people that I am used to, or are that live in the Middle Tennessee area. When I came to Alabama A&M, that was my culture shock. I had never been around that many Black people outside of my family ever. And so I guess it was the biggest transition was after I graduated, being thrown right back into these communities like Williamson County, Brentwood. I live in a place called Columbia. And if you guys want to do some extra research for extra credit, you can look up Mule Day and see the heritage of that and all the background. And so kind of letting y'all into what I'm used to. And so it's just now, I guess, about how that translates my 4 years at A&M. How can I now translate that back into where I'm from? And how can I, show my light as a HBCU graduate and not get watered down by everyone else in my spaces that I'm entering into. And so that's just been my thing, is just not losing my identity. Like I said, this is new, so I'm still trying to learn how MTSU is going to impact my experiences and the culture shocks and things that I'm going to experience. But I do know that I do know who I am. And so that's something that you guys could take away from, is just having that confidence that you chose correctly with your school choice. You didn't make a mistake by not going to a PWI and you went to a HBCU, which I'm very biased. A&M is the best, very top tier, and it's gotten even better since we left because the president now, Dr. Wims, is putting so much money into the school. So just reminding yourself of your greatness and your uniqueness. And then I think that as you encounter differences and you encounter different spaces, you never lose who you are. And you're able to really kind of, I guess, stun on people because you are different. So that's what I am taking from that experience. But if you guys ask me in a couple months, I'll maybe have a different answer.
Oh, no, we're certain that your answer is going to stay the same for sure. You're going to always be stunned on the PWI people because you went to an HBCU first. I also went from an HBCU to a PWI, so that's why I resonate so well with this. And literally all the points that y'all are making, I'm seeing that as literally as my real life, the struggling with finances, the population challenge, even just simply Samara promoting your HBCU today, not losing your sense of identity. It's important, imperative, if I may, that you learn who you are as yourself first, and then you can start to enter into those spaces and not be so intimidated. So I like that. I love this conversation that we go. Now let's get into some real questions now. Let me know if y'all still see my screen.
Wait, one thing before you move on to your real questions is I wanted to circle back to that question. The number one difference that I saw were the homecomings. The homecomings were such a big difference. Sorry, I really had to speak on it because I had friends that would be like, "This isn't your HBCU homecoming." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. It's not. I'm gonna still go and enjoy myself." But like they had a time frame on their homecoming, and let me tell you, they split the African American students up from the rest. They would have a whole entire like festival thing in the middle of the sorority houses. Mind you, there's no Black sorority houses there. And they would put a time limit on for like 3 hours. And I'm like, this is supposed to be a celebration of all. And we get a time limit and we have to leave while everybody else gets to still enjoy their time out here. That was just very crazy to me. And I speak on that any chance I get because I've never experienced anything like that.
Basically, she was just saying that like whenever they would have homecomings, they would put different limitations on the black people when they was actually celebrating in comparison to the white kids, they could party all night. That's what she was saying. She went to the University of Tennessee. Samara went to the University of Tennessee. Knoxville, right?
Yes, Knoxville. Yes.
So yeah, so there's obviously some challenges when it comes into that, which we unfortunately it's inevitable, especially in the type of climate that we're in right now. It might seem like it's discouraging, but don't let that be what makes you not want to continue. Okay. Janaya, choose a number 1 through 15. 11. All right. Oh, so that is actually right on brand with it. The question is, bless you. The question is, what advice would you give to young women currently either navigating college spaces or early career spaces? Because, well, right now, my consultants and student worker, they are mostly juniors and seniors at over here at A&M. So, what type of advice would you give to these young ladies?
Okay, I'm gonna go. So for me, I'm gonna say enter into a room with no limits. You guys already know the type of stigmas and standards that we have on us as women, but with the change of everything, you just have to know your value and be able to present that well. Because it's one thing to know what you have to offer and all of your abilities and all your creativity and all that. But if you're not able to explain yourself well, if you kind of sabotage yourself in situations or in rooms, then that's where your value is going to be deteriorated. So take some time to yourself, maybe if it's once a semester or before big interviews or before the career fair, and really jot down what it is that you bring to places. Like, are you an artist? Can you sing? Are you good with your hands? Are you crafty? Do you have a green thumb? Because really, when you may not think like, okay, if I'm trying to do HR, what does my green thumb have to do with HR? But they just know that are very patient. You kind of take care of things, that you're willing to prune. And in HR, you're gonna have to prune out things for companies. And so bring all of your talents to the table. That's my advice. And if you don't have any talents or you're not sure what your interests are, then stepping away from some of those distractions and figuring out some of your extracurricular activities that you like to do, because you need to be a well-versed person outside of your resume.
I can speak on to what she just said. A lot of these jobs that I've been told from professionals above me is that they're looking for your skill set what more than your degree. And I'm not discrediting the degree because the degree is very, very important, but your skill set matters so much. So if you have time to volunteer at this space to get this type of opportunity or work an internship here and get some type of um, opportunity there, I say take it. Even if it's not in your direct um, career field. Like when I was working for the Braves, I worked as a foundation ambassador, and I was working in sales. I never worked in sales, but I took the opportunity to get the Atlanta Braves on my resume. I also took the chance to volunteer wherever I could with them and just continue to up my skill set. So that way when I go into these jobs, I can speak on, I can do this or I can do this, and I've learned that I can do this because I've been a part of this. And just with the early career spaces, always attend these panels like this, always attend career what are the event what is it career fairs, sorry, career fairs. And also don't get down on yourself. I am 9 months post grad of my second degree and I'm just now getting a full-time job in my field. That doesn't have to speak to what I know or my quality or who I am as a person. It just speaks that the job market is a little bit harder. So don't be so hard on yourself when you're about to start navigating these new spaces, because there's going to be times where you're uncomfortable or you don't know what's next or you will try to get down on yourself. But there's always room for growth. There's always opportunities where you can continue to grow in different aspects of your life. Don't let your career just be the one thing that you're so focused on. Focus on making friends and creating community, because all these things are important for your success. And when it comes to community, make a lot, if you can, how do I say this? Go out and make connections. Connections are super important in your career space. Me going into sports, the number one thing that they tell us is you have to know, you have to be connected. You have to be connected. Like they're like honing that down our throat, like you have to be connected because the space is so small. So whenever you get a chance to connect with people, do that. Make you a LinkedIn account, connect with anybody you can. Hey, can I speak to you on Zoom just to get some information on what you do in your life? What is it that your job entails of? That way you're meeting people in these different spaces. So if time does come, there may be opportunity for employment there. I have a friend that I met on Zoom months ago, and we go to the Hawks games all the time just because I'm well connected with that person. You never know who you can meet, where you can go, where they can take you. So that's my advice.
Ooh, before you answer, Michaela, I think you made a really good point, Samara, because that was a conversation that we had. I think I had stated all you have to do is just get your degree and you can literally go into anything. So the fact that you're saying it, you're literally having to get those skills and make them fit into whatever job that you want it for. So that's really good. All right, Ms. Davis.
But I was gonna say, I really live by that start here, go anywhere. That A&M
Mhm.
model, I live by that model because it's so true. It's so true. So just put that out there.
No,
Live.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, and I agree with Samara's point as well. In networking is huge. That is a huge thing, and networking doesn't have to be as of daunting of a task as some people make it seem. Really, you can network from just being yourself, which was my number one point, which is being your true, authentic self in these spaces. Keep it professional. Don't get me wrong. Be a professional wherever you go because your professionalism also speaks for you in these spaces. However, take up space and be your authentic self because people will remember that more than they will, the hours that you clocked in. With that being said, you also want to make your skills transferable. I just to give y'all a little background, my very first job that I ever worked was at Dollar Tree. I was making $7.25 an hour. My first check was $90. Crazy, I know. Then the following job, I would go to work in a daycare. None of this stuff has anything to do with me teaching. The next job, I was working at a shoe store. Loved it. Nothing to do with my degree. Graduated. Once I graduated, I started working for a work from home company, working with Verizon. Nothing to do with my degree as yet. Then the very first big girl job, and I only call it big girl because they gave me insurance, was working for Bullitt County Correctional Facility, which is a prison in Union Springs, Alabama, where I was a mental health technician. So all of this is up while I was getting my degree, and once I got my degree from A&M, none of that people will say I used any of my degree for. However, English, as you guys know, you need to know how to read and communicate in order to work with many people. So the skills that I were gained through A&M from my bachelor's in English with my minor in psychology helped me to be the perfect mental health technician for the inmates that I worked with at Bullitt County. Now, the transferring of skills came when I got a phone call one day asking if I wanted to become a teacher. And they were like, "Well, what have you done prior to this?" And I was like, "Well, currently work in a prison." And they were like, "Oh, yes, please come," because some schools, if you go into education, they're fearful that the kids may run the teacher off. It's happened. I see it happen all the time, actually. But because of that, because of my background with working with inmates, they figured that I was the perfect candidate to work with their students at the high school. So that's just one way that making those skills transferable really helps. And then the networking piece, the current job that I work right now as an at-risk coach, the counselor here met me at another job at a conference we were both at, and she offered me the job on the spot. So it just depends. And everything came off of my professionalism and my transferring of skills. I have a lot of wealth of knowledge, and I have a lot of things that came from A&M. A lot of this A&M was my foundation, my launching pad, if you will. So don't ever be afraid to try new things. Do not be afraid to venture into new things. Do not let anyone ask you or convince you that you're not worthy. Once you get that degree, even now, while you're getting your degree, you're worthy of whatever you believe you can get. Do not let anyone convince you otherwise. And in the networking, this will be my last piece because I could talk all day, child. But in that networking, please make sure that you, if you have a good prayer life, ask God for discernment, because that is how He will connect you to the people that you need to be connected to.
Can I say one more thing, Miss Stanton?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
The professors that are in your life, the professionals that are in your life, hold those people near, because there'll be times where you'll need references on these job applications and you're going to need somebody to call. Like, you're genuinely going to need somebody to reach out to. When I was at the University of Tennessee, I was working a graduate assistantship at the Pride Center. Mind you, like Miss Michaela said, that's something that had nothing to do with my field. I just know I got it and I was able to pay for my second year of school. But the connections I made through that is what helped me form long lasting relationships to be able to put these people on my applications. Like, hey, I need a reference for this. Can I please put you on there? So the people that you come across in your life, don't take your professors for granted, because you never know who they know. You never know if they'll be willing to help you. And if you can, ask to meet up with them. Like, hey, can we schedule a Zoom call just so I can get to know you, talk to you, chat with you? Because some of these people are really good people. These professionals and your professors are really good people and well-rounded and know a lot of information to help you succeed. So definitely make sure you get some references before leaving A&M or wherever you go in life, internships, job, even at your jobs, anything.
Okay. So I'm over here looking at these different questions, right? And I have quite a few, but we only have so much time. So I kind of want to combine them. So bear with me while I talk y'all through my thought process. Michaela had made a good point of being yourself, but you also need to be professional, right? So I'm looking specifically at really 12, hold on, where my mouse at numbers 12, 13, 12, 13, and 14, okay? So first and foremost, you have to be yourself. You need to be professional. What does your professional how could you then describe your personal professional voice? So this is going to be like a three-part question, okay, guys? So how can you first define your professional voice? And then what does that voice look like when you're the only Black woman in the room? Because or one of few Black women in the room. And then also, how can you be intentional about the different stories that you will maybe discuss or talk about, or maybe encounter whenever you are in these different spaces? So I'm gonna repeat that over again. First, how do you define your professional voice? Who are you? When you are a professional, what does that look like? What does that professionalism then look like when you're the only one in the room? How does that change? Do you have to then either minimize and or maximize yourself in a certain space? Oh, that's another question. So like having all of these different ones coming in, but you have to look at it in those different perspectives. And then the third part of it is then once you have these different types of perspectives of your professionalism, how do you then tackle the maybe narratives or stories that you'll portray when you're in those spaces?
Like, it's still like the first question, but what are your thoughts on code switching?
Okay, and then my Uchenna just wanted to kind of follow up. What are your thoughts on code switching? Which is a good question to ask, because is it Zora Neale Hurston that believes that you're not supposed to code switch at all? So that's a good question. So go ahead, anybody can tackle that.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, so I'm actually gonna start with the code switching question. So, in my American literature class, one with I can't remember who taught me that class. Dr. Golston. Okay, I actually did my presentation on Zora Neale Hurston. I don't believe in code switching either. I'm too educated to code switch. So, like I told you guys earlier, you just bring your most authentic self into the room, and we're prepared. Like, we don't spend all these thousands of dollars and all this time in these spaces, and then we still have to go somewhere and be someone that we're not, or we have to act as if we are interested in something that we're not interested in, because you don't want to be like them. You don't want to blend in. You want to stand out, but you just want to make sure that you're standing out for the right things. And so, back to the question, what is our professional voice? Um, and what does it look like to be like authentic when you enter into spaces? I actually wrote this question down because I had a feeling that we were going to be asked that. I'm going to say more than personality, it's going to be your presence and your appearance. So when you enter into spaces, like we're feminine, so you're going to want to tap into that femininity and be very soft and vibrant. That means putting on some lip gloss, some blush to help bring out those natural melanin tones. Then do that, because as Black women, we already have an essence about us. And so just already having that warm spirit when you enter in the room already changes the outcome of everything when you just already enter into a space like you own it, like your vibe is already good. Another thing that I want to talk about is waiting to respond. You want to avoid slurs or belittling yourself. So like I don't like the term sorry for interrupting, or I apologize if this, or like, I don't like to go ahead and open with that for the most part, especially when opinions are welcomed. Go ahead and just say, I would like to state, or I believe this works, or because I've already experienced something similar, I know that this works. Just going ahead and affirming people that you know what you're talking about. That's going to be your professional tone. Is just having that certainty that you know what you're talking about, because you do. Like I said, you spend all this time in these degrees and in these classes, credit hours. I think, what is it, like 123 credit hours you need to graduate? So you've done the work. So now it's time to showcase that work. Lastly, in media, education, therapy, representation matters. How intentional are you about stories you uplift? Social media is a big thing for me. I'm actually taking a pause from like Instagram, TikTok, things like that, but I am working on my LinkedIn because I've noticed that a lot of these jobs want your LinkedIn more than anything. So, really being intentional about how you want to curate your narrative. So, don't be bipolar on social media. You guys are mature enough to know that, like, if your friends make you mad or your boo makes you mad, you don't need to go to social media as a therapist outlook. Now, you do have spam pages if you want to like have like 20 people on there and that's what you do on there, that's fine. But as far as your main page, it needs to represent your brand. Regardless if you are an influencer or not, you have a brand to embody, because at the end of the day, we're going to enter into these spaces where we're professional and we want to make money. I know nobody wants to be broke. We want to have salary jobs with, benefits. And so your social media is your brand. So you want to make sure that whatever it is, whether it's you are a poet, you're a writer, you are an educator, a Christian influencer, IT, whatever it is, you are pushing that narrative on your social media. For me, I'm a professional, but whatever I do also is Christian oriented. It's definitely, serving God and serving our Savior. And so I make sure, like, I'm gonna put my LinkedIn in the chat because I do want y'all to connect with me because I'm growing my LinkedIn. But I shared something the other day about just being in your Salah season and how that translates into your business mindset. Because you'll, like, a lot of people will try to not mention religious things, but I serve too good of a God to not to be quiet. And so I will try to integrate his praises into what I'm doing, and just not to offend or to not push my lifestyle, but hopefully still just being a light to somebody who maybe is dark, in a dark space, and they don't know, which way is left or right. And so I'm going to share a post that I just shared. So it says, quiet strength. Sorry, I got my blur on. It says, quiet strength is still strength. Presence speaks louder than performance. Just making sure your presence matches that resume. So really working on that, tapping onto that femininity, your appearance, your attire, how you carry yourself. You don't have to put on makeup, but at least make sure that you have on some cute frames. All of the panelists have on cute frames today, your lips, whatever. Just make sure that you are presenting your best self on all aspects. It's really going to change your trajectory everywhere you go. So yeah, that's mine. I'm sorry I was like long-winded. I'm sorry.
You okay? Because that's real. Janae is one of those type of people. She's naturally like very bubbly, very like that. She's been like that even when we was an undergrad. So like that's just her. But first impressions are very important. But then how you then present yourself going forward is also very good. So thank you very much for that. Okay.
Samir, you want to go?
Yeah, I can go real fast.
Go ahead.
Um, Look, I'm starting with the Janae just told us we can't be because
It's
the
okay,
word is
it's a
it's a habit, but I also understand like slowing down your speech to be able to get out what you need to say thoroughly. So I'm gonna pay attention to that while I speak. Okay.
habit.
With the media thing, I can say when I was joining my organization, like I've heard things of the media representation matters. How you look on social media, how you present yourself, from what you're wearing to what you post, to what you say, to the music that you're posting to. All of it matters because you really never know who's looking into your social media, as well as your LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is so important. That's your professional space. I feel like that's your time to shine the most. Like, if you don't have a LinkedIn, make that LinkedIn and start posting anything that you've done. Like, I'll be posting about how I sat on this panel today because people want to see that, but also it's good for it to be there. So when you are looking for these jobs, they know that you have that professional experience under your belt. It's not no nec- it's not necessarily look into other people, but when people are looking into you. And then I love being the only Black woman in the room. I personally love being the only woman in the room because it just speaks a lot to me as a person, like working in sports, because it's such a male dominated field. And the one thing that working as an assistant director, I remember being the only Black woman in the room and making sure I had to make my mark in that room because some people, I'm not going to say all, but a lot of eyes are on you being an African American in general, but stepping into these professional spaces, the eyes are definitely looking towards you. So when I was an assistant director, I made sure I used my loud voice, my presentation voice, because I know that's the things that they're looking for. And then the way that I carry myself coming in, it's all about your appearance. It's never about your professional voice as far as what is being perceived out of your mouth, but how you look when you're first stepping into the room. That's always the first representation. That's always the first thing that they see when you come in. Do you have khakis on? Do you have professional pants on? Do you have a blazer on? Do you have a book with your resume in it? Do you have a smile on your face? It's not necessarily just so what's coming out of your mouth, although that is important, but the way that you look is definitely a key factor going into your professional voice.
And maybe I'm being like a little bit feminist right now, but that smile, it's that smile that kind of triggers me because I worked at Topgolf for 3 years and sometimes I just straight up did not want to smile. And I have like men tell me all the time, you need to smile, you need to look like this. And you have somebody that's in a male dominated field saying that you need to be smiling, you need to be vibrant. Janae says you need to be warm, you need to touch into that feminine. So that's got my mind working. Go ahead,
I have
Michaela.
a question. Well, I have a question. Are there any men in the room as well? I'm sorry, I can't really
An all
see.
girls talk. It's an all girls talk. All
Okay, okay.
girls.
I just wanted to make
All
sure.
of my students
Sorry.
are ladies.
That was a good
Yes,
question.
ladies. Hey, ladies. Sorry.
Okay. I have a question too. Is anybody in the room going into the field of education or planning on going into the field of education?
No, but we got a psychology major. We got a
Okay. Okay. So I'll tap into that as well. So as I have a lot of different roles, right? So I work in education, but I'm also a therapist part-time. And Cece, we kindred spirits. I feel similar in that, depending on the environment or the professional space, a smile is not necessary. And that's just me and my
Right.
profession.
Y'all need to
That's
know
me
me
and my
in business.
that's me and my professional opinion. Now, I say that coming from being a ninth grade English teacher at a Title I school. For you guys, if you don't know what a Title I school is, just know that Title I equal to trenches. That's all I got to say. So I am a very beautiful woman. I'm 5'10". not short, not petite at all, very curvaceous. So I always have attention on me in any room I go into because they're like, who is this tall behind black lady walking in the room? So a lot of people have already made perceptions, or they already have some type of view of me before I even say anything. Now, I agree with everyone in that how you represent yourself, your style, your choice of clothing, that really does matter, and it does speak for you before you even say anything. However, depending on the setting, like I said, it can be perceived other ways. Now, when I was a teacher, I was taught not to smile. They said, do not smile at them kids until May of next year because they're going to think you a joke. Now, I always have kind of had, we as therapists would call it a flat affect. I don't really show much emotion when I'm in public spaces or professional spaces because there's, to me, if I want to smile, I'll smile. If I'm not smiling, it's just what's going to happen today. However, in teaching, I had a coworker. We were both our first year teaching. She was the one that was, hey, y'all, da, da, da. And I'm not going to encourage y'all not to do that. If that's who you are, that's who you are. That's not me, though. When I walked into class, hey, sit down. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Good morning. What's up with you? How you doing? I'm glad you had a great day. Let's get started on this DGP. Let's start doing this bell ringer. That's just who my personality is. Not to say that I'm not as welcome, not to say that I don't have the same experiences or that I don't have positive experiences, but my professional tone comes from the seriousness of the matter. I take education serious. These kids are slow, I'm being honest with you. So I feel personally charged to teach them a little bit. If they just know a little bit more once they leave my classroom, I have done my job for the day. Same with my clients that I see in therapy. If my client can reflect on a coping skill that we've talked about today and can effectively use it, I've done what I need to do. That might not come with a smile every time. I just have to be honest with you. But even in not being as I guess you could say vibrant in my welcome, I still speak with, I'm looking you in your eye. I'm still being very nice and kind and gentle. I just don't have that smile on me. That's just not me. That ain't me. I'm just being honest. But I will say too, as far as code switching goes, I don't code switch. I will say that when you are, and ladies, feel free to chime in. I will say that when you are either networking or interviewing with spaces with older Black women or older Black men, code switching may really is not what you want to do. You want to continue to have that professionalism, but I will say if they code switch with you, feel free to code switch back. I think that gives like a, dare I say, it's almost like a level of comfort within the room. Every time we started code switching in the interview, I got the job. So that's really all I can speak to as far as that. You can dictate your comfortability in code switching. If you feel like you're comfortable enough and you want to code switch, if you feel like it's going to get you the job, if you code switch, by all means. But just know that you don't have to. You do not have to. I don't speak proper all the time, and I'm at work all the time. So just, have comfort in knowing that. And the last thing I want to say is professional confidence. Professional confidence comes from knowledge. So if there is something in your field that you're not aware of, or something in your field that, that's not your strong suit, research it. There is ample information out here. Network, ask questions. Don't limit yourself to what you know, because that's what creates that insecurity. As an educator, I'm a lifelong learner. I'm in school right now, regretting it every day, but I'm in school right now because the problems and issues that I see in education, I want to find a solution to it. And in order for me to get amongst spaces where we can bring change, I must bring the knowledge. I got to bring the research. So keep in mind that even when you feel like you are not worthy of a space, or that you're not able to go in this space from not knowing something, or that you're not strong in this suit, or you're not a good speaker, or whatever it is, the deficit that you feel like you have, know that you can strengthen it. Don't think that just because you don't have something that you'll never have it.
Yes, Michaela, that was really good. What I got from that, really from what all of you all are saying, the most important part of having a personal professional voice is staying true to who you are. So whether or not that's being smiley, bubbly, that's being straight and serious, whatever professionalism looks like for you in your spaces, that's what you should ascribe to be. So we're going to, because it's
Wait,
late.
can I say something about code switching?
Go ahead.
I missed that when I went. I was gonna say I think it's on a read the room basis. I don't necessarily believe you have to code switch, but I do believe in just being professional. Just any room that you go in where you know you're going to have to be professional, be professional. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to code switch, but just make sure you walk in the room with confidence and you know what you're speaking about and you know what's going to take place and just reading the room. Because like she said, if sometimes when you're talking to a older black male or a older black female, you might not have to do the code switch thing, but always hold some type of professionalism when you walk into those spaces.
Very much. So I'm gonna open it up the floor because y'all seem like y'all is engaged. It seems like was this a good panel? I could tell y'all are engaged. So let's open up some questioning from y'all. So let's do a little bit of things to consider. As y'all know, I love to have more deeper questioning behind it. So let's maybe discuss leadership as a woman. We have a professional in here that literally teaches, 2, 3 teachers. So you have those people that are in leadership positions, overcoming imposter syndrome, right? Because all of us, well, they're about the same age as me. And so they're going into these spaces with people that are way older than them and telling them like, hey, this what's gonna be. So overcoming imposter syndrome are just opening doors to uh assistantships, fellowships, opening doors to your internships, whatever that looks like.
Is someone speaking?
They're thinking about it first.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, what about it?
Like, I want to be able, I'm really touched on the, I think that, what made them switch, like, what makes you so good
All right, so the question on the floor is what made you decide to go to your PWI? Why didn't you go to another HBCU? You instead went to a PWI. That's the question.
Okay, so for me, it's gonna be proximity was a big thing. Like I said, you guys already know where I'm from, okay? And then also the degree I went into, so I went to tech. And so it's just about where you want to go. Like for me, I wouldn't go to like a University of Phoenix or something like one of those online schools just because you want to continue to just bring that excellence. And so you have to just consider your proximity. What school are you close to? Are these schools accredited? If someone looks at your resume, does it accentuate what you already have going on or does it bring it down? And then I wanted to go in person, and so MTSU offered it in person. So it just depends on the situation for me. I wasn't really looking for a PWI, but I wasn't opposed to it. As when I went to undergrad, I was kind of very closed off to PWIs. I knew I was not going to go to one. I knew I wanted to go to HBCU. But for graduate school, I was more open and it catered more to my needs. So that's why I picked that.
For me, I gotta really figure out how to word this. I know that I needed more experience under my belt. At the time, I work in sports. So at the time when I graduated A&M, there weren't so as many opportunities that they have now. As you can see, the social media for A&M goes crazy. I like snap my fingers every time I see everything happening on social media within the sports world and like like it all thriving. But I knew I needed to go somewhere where I could get more experience under my belt because I knew being at A&M, I wasn't going to be able to attend March Madness. I wasn't going to be able to do more things in sports. Not saying that I'm not discrediting A&M at all because a lot of my experience did come from that. A lot of the people that I know came from that. I joined my organization there. All the beautiful things that grounded me and made me who I am. But I can't say I know I needed more professional experience and stepping out of my comfort zone of just going to my Black school. I had to go to a PWI and get some more experience in a big SEC school, which led me to apply to Tennessee. That was the only other school I had applied to for grad school. I didn't apply anything else, so anywhere else. So I really went on a whim of faith. And it just so happened that I got in and was able to experience all the things that I did at the school.
Thank you very much. So we have one more question because it is currently 1:40 something and their training does end at 1:45. So we're gonna take one more question and then wrap it up.
Yeah, I have a question.
Oh, okay. Janai, go ahead, ask your question.
Not like what they were involved in while they were working.
Okay, they want to know your campus involvement, ladies. Quickly run down. Start
Um,
with
so I was in the band marching our Fabulous Flag for 3 years. I was in student government from 2019 to 2020 as the Senator of College Education, Humanities and Behavior Sciences. I was in SHE. I don't know if SHE is still on campus anymore. I was also a part of AAUW, Sigma Chi Delta, and I got the opportunity to do the it's one of those educational organizations that also has Greek letters. I cannot think of it off the top of my head. It's like student success or something like that. But if you know anybody that's in the band, pray for them because that's what takes up majority of your time on campus. So
okay, Samara.
At A&M, my experience, I joined my organization, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I worked for the football team on their media department. Uh, that's that's really all I kind of did while I was at A&M. I didn't really join a lot of organizations or anything of the sort because I was so busy trying to do media stuff and get accumulated within sports. So, are you speaking just at A&M?
Yeah.
Does she want?
And on campus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
For me, I was Miss Sophomore, so I was in SGA. I was a class queen, and then I'm a member of Phi Beta Lambda. But I know they are off the yard right now. So the other ones are okay. But the other ones are okay. But yeah, PBL, and then I did Sigma Tau Delta. Also, I'm a product of COVID, so other things that I wanted to do Southern Bales, but because of COVID, all that stuff was shut down, and I was in the NAACP for a little bit, and I think that was it. Yeah.
Thank you all so much. Give them a great hand. Great hands. Thank y'all so much. This conversation was very insightful. Again, it's Women's History Month, so we're here empowering women. We are a staff full of women, so why not have women speak life into? If y'all want to talk to them a little bit, y'all can, but y'all are more than welcome. Oh, tomorrow we will be on the quad. We'll be on the quad tomorrow. Your right place obligation is
Every Sunday,
tomorrow.
Wednesday. Okay. I miss every Sunday,
know that now.
Wednesday.
I do too. I love
Dang,
everything.
I miss ESW.
But they moved it to like that courtyard. So I didn't know they put it back on the quad.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't even know they had did that.
Mhm.
I told you they done upgraded. Dr. Williams ain't playing with us, okay? All of our little tuition money going to something.
Good.
Hey, you guys, I did put my LinkedIn in there. Like I said, I'm a little biased, trying to build up
Oh,
my connections. I don't know if they listen or not. LinkedIn.
I put mines too.
All the things that you all are doing is
There she is.
that, you are still being, noticed when your hard work is actually, doing work, you want to be noticed, recognized.
I'm gonna connect with
I
you.
don't
I
know,
can't.
yeah, new ones for the moment. Any questions? Go ahead, ladies. Is this somebody's leave? Ladies, I got some
My
people that
mom
have
left.
questions. I have some people that have questions for you, but we're technically over with, so thank y'all again.
You're welcome. Hey, Cece, tell them they're gonna have to come close though, because we can't hear them from back there if they have questions.
Yeah, she coming up.
Okay.
And also, Jade, can you put your LinkedIn so I can send it out to them?
Oh, I did. So did
I
Samira.
do. Also, ladies, I'm looking to take in some mentees. I want to learn how to be a mentor. So if any of y'all are open to wanting a mentor, please message me on LinkedIn and I'll get back to you.
Oh,
Thank you very much. I'm going.
the same for me.
Did you put your LinkedIn in the chat?
They can really just add me on Facebook.
I'll put.
And I'm taking heed to this advice to get my LinkedIn going because I do way too much not to be on LinkedIn.
Girl, don't be like me trying to play catch up. Like after I left my last job, now I'm trying to play catch up, trying to post lesson plans and everything that I've already did over 3 years. So just get on LinkedIn.
Thank you.
There's a
Absolutely.
hi. What's your
Madison. My name is Madison Crook. I am a sophomore computer science major with a focus in AI.
Hmm.
My question, it's kind of like not a story, but a story and a question. So I've accomplished a lot here at A&M, being a very reserved person and not really following in a lot of orgs, always getting my face out and stuff like that. And I know I'm able to continue on the track I'm going. I'm on, a good track this summer. I'll be interning with Lockheed Martin. So I'm getting it done, but I think sometimes I think that I'm not doing enough or following the right track to get more done. So do you all have any advice to kind of not really think about that? Because if I know I'm doing well, then I'm doing well. And to not really negate, my accomplishments, my successes that I do have as I'm, continue on here at A&M.
If I could jump first, ladies. The first thing I want to say is that I resonate with you so much. I too am a very, very successful person, but I sometimes have struggled seeing my own, I guess you could say, the glow of all the things. So with that, I'm sharing personal experience in that one, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody but you. Whatever you decide to do, whatever path you take, whatever road of success that because you're already on it. As you continue to go on this journey, the things that you do to get to where you're trying to go, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It doesn't have to be right. There is no real right or wrong to any of this. Honestly, we make it look good because we Black women, but all of us is just figuring it out. I can't speak for. I don't want to speak for everyone, but I do know that a lot of it is just being comfortable in what you choose to do. If you feel like getting into orgs and, networking and getting out there is your path to success, go down that path by all means. If you feel like you get more success by being reserved, staying to yourself, doing what you got to do, but popping out every now and then, do that. Whatever plan you create is the path that you're supposed to be on.
Thank you.
I can also say that don't let I'm learning this for myself too, to not let the things that I've accomplished in my life, the things that I accomplished in my life speak to who I am and my worth. That's what I was trying to say. Because a lot of times we can get mixed up in our work and who we are, and we just mix them and become one. And the one thing that God says, I'm a believer, is that we're wonderfully and fearfully made. And to continue to have patience, 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 patience. I just got my first full-time job, and I'm 9 months out of my master's degree. So I guess not to let your successes just define your worth and who you are as a person, and to just remember that anything that you put your mind to and anything that you have accomplished in this lifetime, take it on with you, and you'll be good. I promise you'll be good. You're in school, you're doing all the right things that you're supposed to. You're you said you're well known around the campus, like you have all these things you're doing, right?
Yep. I would say so.
Okay, so you're good. Like don't belittle yourself or take yourself back to a point where you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm not doing enough, because that's when you become very, very overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I know the overwhelming feeling. I do. So you're doing all the right things. Continue to push forward. Take it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time if you have to. And just show up your best self.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much on top of all the great things that they already said. I just want to add, don't look for too many windows. We're looking for open doors. So there may be opportunities that come about, but if they're just, oh, well, maybe, or like you just are trying to fill in check boxes, don't do that because you'll be, exhausted and you'll have your hands in a lot of buckets that are not for you. So just make sure that you're looking for those doors to open and not those open windows. That's gonna be my thing. So big
I
opportunity.
appreciate it. I
You're
really appreciate it. Wonderful advice.
Can I ask what your before you leave, can I ask what your organizations you're in?
Pre-Alumni Association. This year, we're trying to get the National Council of Negro Women Incorporated on our campus, an A&M collegiate section, and I'm the second vice president for that this year. So that's where I'm at right now as far as any organization.
Yeah, that's more than enough because especially if you're a founding member or something along those lines, that speaks volume to your work ethic. Because a lot of people are resume builders. I used to say that all the time with PBL. I don't want resume builders. You want people that are really putting in the work. Yeah. And you and I are doing similar things with the IT. So if you want to connect, we can. So I can
I'll
help
be
you.
adding everyone on LinkedIn.
Okay, good. Yeah, because that's where I'm going to.
All right. Well, I enjoy talking to you all. Bye.
Yeah. Just have a good day.
As well. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much. Oh my gosh, I can't stop smiling. I can't stop smiling. Thank y'all so much.
Poor sister girl.
You're welcome, Queen. Anytime.
Be sending
Thank you for having us.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, I feel honored to be asked. That was my thing.
Oh my God, yes. I will be sending over y'all's bios and headshots so y'all can have it. So when you post it on your LinkedIn, you have an official one. I'll also do y'all a favor and do the our police logo on that as well. Okay. Any questions for me?
No, ma'am. Let me know if you need anything else in this realm or any way, shape, form.
Yes, ma'am, I will. Thank
Just keep
y'all.
doing what you're doing, Cece. You're shining, girl.
It's so different seeing you in a
Yes.
my line sister. So it's different seeing you in such a professional light. I love it.
Hey, so Cece, you posted something on LinkedIn a few weeks ago, and I was like, this is definitely giving Dr. Teague. I was like, definitely giving, department chair. So just
Oh,
keep working.
I'm be going for my PH student.
Mm. I'm loving the growth, girl. I'm
Yeah,
loving the growth.
Thank
look
y'all.
good.
Oh, right. No.
No, for real. I mean, I don't, girl, you know how we know each other. So through the band, but other things as well. So I'm just glad to, see a fellow sister be as successful, honestly, truly. I
Yes.
feel like a proud auntie.
Michaela, you are not that much older than us.
Girl, I'm knocking on 30's door. Let me
Uh-oh.
quit up.
I feel like I'm
Please.
sure.
But I try to stay young as much as I can.
Well, when you got on the chat, I was like, oh, I know her.
Same, I was like, you look so familiar, but girl,
It's
this
gonna be
brain of mine.
SGA. It's
Mm-hmm,
definitely SGA.
What
mm-hmm.
year did y'all graduate in?
21.
2020.
Yeah.
2020.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 21.
Okay.
22. If you
20,
didn't.
guess we're going down the line.
Yeah,
Welcome.
I wish I would have graduated at 21 or 22 or 19, maybe any other year, actually.
Oh, because y'all did y'all get a graduation? What did y'all do?
I'm about to have war flashbacks, but we got nothing. They shut everything down, like
Okay.
Was that the time
everything.
where it was like raining, or what year was that when it like
No, she
literally
must have
rained
did
out?
May 2020. I don't think they did April.
Yeah, May 20. They had a graduation in July of that year, but I was too busy trying to be a maid of honor at a wedding, so I couldn't even go to my own graduation. So they not transportation, communication has drastically improved at A&M since I was at the school. So when I say it was chaos and panic, and it was evident that it was chaos and panic with the school as well, it was really, really, really horrific.
I'm
But
telling you, I like Dr. Wims.
I do too. He's
come
doing.
on, oh my God.
Cece, have you met Dr. Williams?
Occasionally, a couple of times I have. He cool.
I met him in the president's box when I was Miss Sophomore.
Okay.
So when he won, I wasn't surprised. Let me say that they grown.
They have grown, and I don't know if y'all know where Phoenix City at, but I'm on the lower part of Alabama. I'm only an hour away from Montgomery, so I'm fighting for my life daily. I just want y'all to know that with all these Alabama State people. But the one thing that I always say is that my school is 10,000 times better than y'all's, just off my president. Like y'all could never touch what A&M is doing right now.
Mhm.
Um, and that's all off the strength of whims. Like I